Hey, I do believe we're live. The internets do be showing us on it. So there.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fandible.com Twitch stream. And we are here in order to talk to you about all of the things that we did right or wrong or would like to improve or learn more about in 2024, moving into 2025. Now, this stream is a charity stream. We have included links uh, for charities having to do with the LA wildfires.
I'm pasting them
And
on the chat right now.
and all of the donations, should you see fit to donate to this stream, are going to go to charities supporting survivors and people trying to rebuild their lives from the LA wildfires, the California wildfires. And also, as an announcement, all of the Patreon donations that we have received for this month are also going to go to charities for the California wildfires. We feel that that's the very least that we can do. So thank you very much if you're a patron or if you had donated to us previously. That is where your money is going, and it is going to a good cause. We are nerds who play make believe and make silly voices into microphones, and there are bigger things at stake. So thank you so much for your support, and that is what is important to us right now. So my name is David,
I'm Dan.
and we are going to be talking about 2024. Oh, the good, bad, and ugly, the rights and the wrongs, and the singing of songs. I get knocked down and I get up again.
That's
Uh,
true.
yes, I only mentioned that because recently my a friend of the show page asked who won the '90s randomly, and I yelled Chumbawamba, and she could not argue against
That is the
me.
correct answer.
It's one of the most catchy songs I think humanity has ever come up with, and that's why we bought the rights to it. And we're gonna play it right now.
If only. That's where your Patreon money's going.
Yeah, tub thumping. So, anyways, we are talking about the various aspects of 2024, and let's start off with the last game that we ran, which was Mothership.
Ah, good. I'm glad you kept notes because I had
Yeah.
no idea.
So in the last game, actually we have not posted the entirety of the game yet, but I ran yet another installment of my Technocracy game, or the Technocratic Union game, or the Union. We kind of bounce around with the name a whole bunch, and I utilized the game system Mothership, which I thought was great to play a horror game. And having listened to it, I think that I struggled a little bit with the game itself. There seems to be, so let's open up with the good parts. I love the idea that Mothership has a clear intention,
Mm-hmm.
and it is to be a horror game, much like Aliens, and it is written as such. It very much reminds you that your character could die. Your character will most likely die. It will be horrible. You should make a baker's dozen of characters uh, to constantly pluck from, and that's really cool. And that's interesting as a fan of paranoia.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand that, and I was looking forward to playing it. Um, and first of all, it turns out that they revamped the game entirely.
Right.
I was reading from the wrong rule set. But also, I feel like uh, I feel like Mothership has a bit of an identity crisis
Right.
when it comes to its.
Just
Are
shoot.
you about to just straight up turn off the?
No, no, we're still streaming. We're still streaming at least, but
Okay.
she's fully on camera.
Aw,
Okay.
but she wants scritches for me. That's
Yeah,
very
she
sweet.
does. She's a
Yeah.
sweetheart.
Yeah, but also she like knows me now, as opposed to like
Yeah. Hey,
the
hey, girl.
first time I came over, and yeah, so
This this is where your money goes.
she'll be playing the role of Dogberry, our producer.
Yeah.
This is Esme, and she's a sweetheart once you get to know her, or more importantly, once she gets to know you.
Exactly. Exactly.
So Anyways, Mothership seems to have a bit of an identity crisis, and the fact that it is a 40-page role-playing game, which I absolutely love as somebody who semi-professionally runs games.
Hmm.
It is fantastic when there is a game that is concise into 40 pages. I can read it in an afternoon and get an idea of what to expect.
Right.
Um, but for a game that is touting the fact that your character can and will die, constantly trying to drum home the idea that your character will die. You will have to make new characters, your character is going to die. It then devotes a lot of the 40-page book to long term building of a spaceship in order for you to occupy with your characters, which is very hard to reconcile with the idea that your character is so disposable, they might as well be nameless. So it reminds me very much of when Fandible has been making games, have been
Right.
coming up with games, and we come up with a system that's so fucking sick, so good that we just have to shoehorn it into the game, regardless of whether or not it is part like as we spitball it,
Right.
as we like round table and workshop it, it doesn't really match anymore, but damn, is it a good system? And we put it in anyways. And that's what it kind of reminded me of. It's a game that tells you over and over that your character is disposable, is going to die, but then gives you rules for long term storytelling to be populated ostensibly with those characters that are so easily going to die. And I feel like a big part of the problem that I ran into is for those of you listening to the holiday edition, also known as the Silent Night episodes, um, I feel like I didn't run it right. I definitely feel like um, I struggled to run it entirely correctly. And I think that is by virtue of being part of a podcast that jumps around with games.
A lot.
You don't have a chance to like run a game preliminarily and then learn how to run that game better, like many of us do if we just have one
Right.
game constantly
You
going.
stick to it, you learn to grow, you learn to you actually use the system.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so that was a problem on my part. But I also learned that apparently it is encouraged or meant, I'm not entirely clear, to be used with like minis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It does
like
kind
a
of want you to
map.
use, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't
Also,
have to, but it really does want you to.
yeah, and that's not conducive to an audio podcast. And I think it's not the fault of Mothership necessarily, though I do think that the weird uh the weird contrast between, oh, your character is so disposable, so very disposable, and also here's long-term shipbuilding mechanics to be populated by characters with names. That is curious and difficult to wrap my head around, but also um, it is the issue of like utilizing um, miniatures can be difficult if you're not entirely invested in running that game long term. And that is a problem with, I think, all role playing games.
Right.
Honestly, it reminds me, and this is not to in I don't mean this as an insult to tabletop RPGs. Clearly, I have skin in the game, but it reminds me a little bit of how video game companies now are going about with long-term games, live service games,
Hmm. Hmm.
in the fact that they all are acting as if they are trying to be your number one and only game. And that's cool, but that's not the reality for at least people like us. And we might be, we are an outlier. I
Right.
totally acknowledge
Yeah. A
that.
lot of people just want that one, which is kind of part of why D&D is what it is, right? A lot of people just want the one game that they've learned and they want to play a long-term campaign in it. Um, We don't get to do that so much.
No, and also, even if we didn't have the podcast, I
Yeah.
don't know if I think once you like kind of cut your teeth on having all these different systems, it's enticing to keep going.
Mhm.
When I was a teenager and role playing, we went from D&D for a long time to Shadowrun for a long time to Vampire for a long time. Um, and that was pretty much those were pretty much the three games.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that every single game we play, you know, notwithstanding with Grant Howitt, like one page RPGs and things like that. Excuse me. But they all want to be that game. And I feel like with games like Mothership, they put in some stuff that lobbied to be a long-term game while also being based on the premise of long-term gaming, but very short-term character arcs, very short-term character playing, which made it feel kind of like Dungeon Quest a little bit,
A little bit. So,
you
I
know?
mean, here's the thing I'm thinking about Mothership, and honestly about like us as a podcast and the way we approach a lot of games, right? We want to play a lot of different stuff,
Hmm.
but a lot of games, there's, by definition, there's a specific game they're trying to get you to play,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And usually the mechanics will reflect that. And I've already done my rant about how we don't pay enough attention to the mechanics in the first place. But aside from that, Mothership specifically
Hmm.
has a lot of extra material that you don't get with the main books. The proper, the quote unquote, proper Mothership experience includes a whole bunch of like basically mini adventures. And I think that and a lot of games do. A lot of games will include like intro adventures and stuff like that. And I think we kind of do the games a disservice by not even trying those.
Oh,
A lot of the
yeah.
times we just pick up go, all right, I think I've got the general vibe of what the rules are like and the general setting, and now I'm gonna play my version of that
Hmm.
immediately upon picking up the book, and it might be fun. We have a good time. We the fact that there are people watching us right now, I mean, tells me that we do a decent enough job making up our own shit around the games that we get to make it entertaining. But a lot of the time we end up like feeling like that, like, I'm not sure I played the game as intended. I'm not sure I did something like I didn't quite click. The game wanted me to do things and then I took it in my own direction and it didn't feel right. And I feel like maybe we need to give those like sort of pre-built pre-gen adventures a bit of a shot first when we first meet a game. Say, all right, show me what you got, game.
Hmm.
This is your the experience that you want me to have with this game. Let's see if you deliver on that. And once I see that, then go like, oh, cool, that's dope. Now let me take it in my own
Yeah.
direction, right?
Yeah, that's great. Absolutely. And I agree. Outside of making a media.
Well, yeah, no, it's that's the
That's the
thing. Like,
problem. Like
even in making a media, like, we might still have to like, or if we're gonna do that, then it's on us to play the pre-gen off the air so we get a feel for the system
mhm.
and then do our own unique thing on the podcast, but we don't really have
Yeah.
time for that.
Therein lies the
So
problem.
yeah.
It's almost entirely my
Right.
fault. I work nights. So a lot of the assumption I think with running games is that everybody works a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then after 5 o'clock, everybody gets together, or at least virtually. I don't. I work till like 10 p.m. I get home at like 10:30 p.m. Ain't nobody playing a game at 11 p.m. And so, yeah, a lot of that is unfortunately my scheduling issue. If
Scheduling is the final boss of all tabletop
Yeah,
games.
but it is very much extreme with me.
Yeah.
And I would literally have to take a day off in order to do a 9 to 5 schedule. Um, and like I encourage the rest of Fandible who does have a 9 to 5 to do that,
Which is
and
what
I'll catch up.
I'm planning. That's what I'm planning to do with Triangle Agency.
Yeah. So I'll definitely catch up, but it doesn't seem to happen.
Right.
And again, scheduling's final boss. If you remove me from the equation, Cool. I
Yeah,
mean,
but if
go
we
for
remove
it.
you from the equation, then we don't have a podcast. So don't worry about that, buddy. You're not doing it.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think you just have one less, like a dispenser of dick jokes. But
Have you listened? You edit our podcast. You know what it is.
that's a very good point.
Again, we don't have a podcast without them. Hey, let's catch up on chat real quick. Give me a second. Let's see here. So since we started, although first of all, before we even started, Stevedore was getting in trouble. We made it on time. We made it on time. I said let there be much wooing. No, wait, that leads to romance. Abort, abort. Romance does lead to miss D&D sessions unless the couples also play D&D, or they're well matched and they just talk about it like adults and set boundaries and times, and it's possible to do that when you're an actual adult.
Yeah, I just told Paige that I'm part of orgies.
Yeah, exactly. So you just
Same amount of,
yeah,
remarkably, same amount of time and organizational issues. Yeah.
just tell your partner you're fucking other people like a grown ass adult. Uh, let's see. Roll for cat. The star has finally arrived. Dan's apartment identified. All these things are correct.
Mhm.
These are the stories of the starship Nebulas and the poor fools who live within their hulls. Draw a ship with your words. You're just red shirts. It's okay. Kirk will still survive. Which is, I think a better approach, honestly, to that is like, it's not our starship. We just work on it.
Yep.
Like the bridge crew will be fine.
Yeah.
We are not the bridge
Yeah,
crew.
we are the members of engineering that when things spark and the engine's about to overload, we fly from the second balcony down to like establish how deadly the whole situation is.
Precisely.
Yeah,
Let's see. Mothership sounds like an OSR game. Also, Phoenix says some of us are polygamorous. Yeah, on
well done.
topic. On topic.
Well done.
But yes, Mothership is OSR, old school revival. It's kind of like that whole school of game
Mhm.
design, inspired. It is very much in that family. So yes. Call A. We have a new game. No, no, we're doing the pre-gen. No, we're doing it live. Also, that 1 to 10 p.m. shift, listening to Canada's as it happens on the way home at 11. The kids at the Waffle House just getting ready to play D&D. Dick jokes, truly the basis of civilization. And fine, I just
It's
my
Esme,
cat's up to
dude.
no good. Just let her do the thing.
All right.
So long as I don't hear anything crashing, it's fine. Man Solo's schedule is. Sorry, if you're polyamorous, you can cross over the gaming group and the orgy. And to be fair, I've heard so many tales of just polycules forming just so they have somebody to play with regularly. Like it's a thing. It's a thing.
Hmm.
Um,
Why are gamers so horny?
I wouldn't know. Never been horny in my life. Man, so long as the schedule is consistent, then something can easily be worked out. I wish I had a consistent schedule. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like we do it. You're looking at it. This is
Yeah,
this is this is this is the compromise we've come to.
yeah.
Saturdays.
Also, my job now currently, I got a new position and it offers a lot more overtime, and overtime is a lot more money. So, even I'm even less available as it is right now, especially after the holidays. Thank
Yeah.
you, holidays. And so, yeah, so scheduling is a big issue. If we were just gaming
Right.
at a 9 to 5 schedule and we weren't recording and we're like, let's just play this game,
Yeah.
this would not be an issue. But it is because we are wildly different schedules, and many of us are just looking at a book, trying to learn and be like, oh, this looks dope. Yeah, I'll run it for the show. And then running it, and like I did, seeing the cracks in the foundry, not just in the game itself, but especially my grasp on it. That just kind of comes up in the recording. Like you don't have time or the capacity to run it like you don't have the chance to do a dry run.
Yeah.
You just kind of like fucking, you write down notes, you think you got it, and you go with it.
And meanwhile, your
Yeah,
players are not helping. Let's face it.
yeah,
We don't help. We're just
yeah,
like, yeah, no, I refuse to read your rules, sir.
yeah.
Give me a character. Anyway, I'm going to fuck the blob. Like, there's no mechanics for it. You're the one who chose to run this game. Just let me fuck the blob.
You offered me a blob,
I'm
I'ma
gonna fuck
fuck
it.
it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's blame to be spread.
Yeah, the porn parody of the blob went in a really weird direction,
Mm,
or a very understandable one.
a little bit of both.
They renamed it the sploosh.
Never been horny in my life. Um, but yeah, yeah, like that's the thing. Like we do. Uh, Fandible.com, the longest running podcast nobody's ever fucking heard of. But
Mhm.
also, we are very different from a lot of other podcasts in that sense that most, not all. I mean, look at Party of One, for example. It's basically all one shots. And there are a couple of other like one shot dedicated ones, but the most podcasts tend to do arcs at the very least. They'll have seasons and everything.
Yep.
The fact that we just pick up whatever like strikes our fancy pretty much on a weekly basis uh, is unusual.
Yeah, we had the long shot, and that was a really good game. We had Unhallowed Metropolis, and those were good games. Billyverse games were really good, but those all had one thing in common.
The full crew.
Yeah, we
Yep.
were all physically in the same room.
Yep. Yep.
And if you've listened to the latest episodes of my Technocracy game that I used Mothership for, and I keep looking down because I have the printout of Mothership right here. I was flipping through it before we went on air. Uh, yeah, there's a certain lack of rhythm there that can be really difficult. And again, it's not Mothership's fault. I think I do stand by
Mhm.
the idea that like the first half of the game is how easily your character can die, emphasizing that in the second half of the book is, oh, look at all these long-term storytelling plot aspects for creating a ship with all these people that you are going to populate it with that are also going to die. I think that there is an issue there, a contradiction.
Mhm.
But so yeah, that was my last memory of 2024 was for Fandible was going into that, was dealing with that. And then reaching back, we've played a number of different games.
Two or
Um,
three.
yeah, just a couple. Just a couple. We played Hunter, The Reckoning. We did that.
Yeah.
We went deep into some like old school White Wolf, I
Yeah.
found. Yeah.
It's comfort food.
It is comfort food, but also I think that like specifically with games like Hunter,
Mhm.
it is digestible. I mean, we're getting back into the
Yeah.
do we need to have dinner?
Just a
Um,
bit.
yeah.
But it
And
was Chinese, so you're kind of hungry again real quick after.
fair.
Yeah.
There is a aspect of it that is very easy to understand, which is there are monsters, you're a person with superpowers, go. And
Mhm.
like that's kind of cool. And I think that that is an issue of sorry, that was a video of professional wrestling on my phone because I love wrestling. And I have yet to run my game that I really want to run for Fanable, which is professional wrestling. We'll get into that later. So yeah, I'm looking at it right now. We've got Hunter the Reckoning at the beginning of the year. We've got more of my Union game. We played Kia. Yeah, yeah, that was this game.
Viewer, and anybody who's on our Discord would know a good friend of the stream, Rave, I believe their username is.
Yep, Kia Mountain Trolls. Check it out. It is a very fun game where you play birds from New Zealand, or evil birds from New Zealand. As if that implies that there are good altruistic birds from New Zealand, and I would like to play that game as well. I believe those would be the paladins of avians from New Zealand. So we've got Key of the Mountain Trolls. Check it out. We've got Gun and Slinger.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Now, Dan,
It's a pretty good game, I think.
yep. I mean, you understand that game so much more than I do.
Right.
So go.
Uh, I don't get that game. It's such a weird game. No, no, it's a good game. It's look, it's right up my goddamn alley. That's the thing. Like, it's a good match between game and storyteller, I think. I said it's right up my alley. It's just high weirdness. Just get to tell a story about traveling through a wilderness that's very focused on just these two characters and what they're going through and all just the weird shit that they are. And they
Hmm.
are weird shit. They go through weird shit, and weird shit is all around them. And that's always everything I want out of any game I play, really. Like, but also I really dig this. That's one of the games that I think really made me start going like, we need to start paying more attention to our mechanics because it is a game that has very unique mechanics
Hmm.
and they are there for a reason.
Hmm.
The feeling of basically playing blackjack, playing go fish for your thing. It's meant to be a thematic for a sort of a cowboy theme that you're not rolling dice, you're dealing out hands of cards, but also in the way that it reflects the relationship between the gun and the slinger in several ways. Specifically, anytime you have to do like actually shooting, because it effectively requires you to be in sync.
Yes.
Because you're doing the sort of like blind back and forth. You're basically working together with the other player to like meet or beat a blackjack hand, basically, but you can't really collaborate. So you have to be in sync between yourselves as almost as players in order to reflect how you should be in sync as characters.
Hmm.
And I really like how that mechanic like reflects that. And that's why that game sort of triggered that. And I'm like, wait a minute, we should be paying attention because like
Yes.
sometimes the mechanics themselves are part of the story.
Oh,
They're there for a
absolutely.
reason, right?
Absolutely. I think that games with unique mechanics are crucial, excuse me, to not only their own identity, but to gaming specifically as like a whole. Because I think that if we stick to just one type of gaming mechanic, i.e. D20 for, D&D,
Mhm.
then it stifles innovation. And you look at games that are really unique with mechanics such as looking at you, Rotted Capes. uh I don't always agree with how Rotted Capes does its game, but
Yeah,
you
that's true.
cannot argue that they didn't buckle down and make an entirely new type of mechanic.
Right. Quick pause on that. Thank you, Explorers Wandered, for gifting 5 subs on the channel. Thank you so much. That means everybody who just got a gifted sub will not see ads on the channel whenever they pop up. I have not been keeping track of when the ads are coming at all.
Or what they are, it's
What
going to
they
be
are
super filthy.
for this stream, or do we even have ads on? I don't know. Point is, though, if you were getting ads before, you won't be. Thanks to Explorers Wanted. Go ahead and check them out. Also, Explorers Wanted, longtime friends of the show, and I can personally vouch for saying that they are quite literally, and this includes Fandible, the only actual play podcast that I actually listen to. I think we've all guessed it in one way or another on Explorers
Yes,
Wanted.
yes, I have as well. Yeah.
I think I know I have. I know Jesus has. I think Angela has. I don't know. I think Billy may be the only one. Well, I mean, you're on chat.
Well,
You're on
Bill,
chat as far as what. Let us know. But
uh,
I think.
Billy charges and like
Well, yeah,
charges a lot.
exactly. And I mean,
Like,
he's
yeah,
worth every goddamn penny.
he
So
is, but he's high up there.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's hard to get Billy on your
Yeah, he's
podcast.
too good for cameos.
We,
So,
we, we barely get him on ours. So but again, thank you so much, Explorers Wanted, for that. And while I'm there, let me no, just us two. I could have sworn Jesus had really. I could have sworn Jesus. There's fireworks outside. Uh, I don't know why there's fireworks outside. Well, maybe not.
happy MLK, everybody.
Happy MLK, everybody. This is how New York City celebrates.
Mhm.
Um. Anyway, so it is just us two. I could have sworn Jesus had no, it's just us. Oh well. And then within that, mostly me, because I think I've been there like twice. So
I had
it's
a really good time
yeah.
making my recordings for Explorers Wanted and then doing a follow-up interview with Explorers Wanted. It was a really, really good time.
So we're
So,
big fans of them, and again,
yeah.
thank you so much. Also, while we're here, let's catch up real quick on chat. Let's see here. Invite the orgy over to roleplay. It's their fault for not questioning further, but you do have to tell them what they're coming for. They will bring the wrong equipment. Uh,
What they're coming for.
hey, also,
Just put a mic on the table, they'll understand.
Fairy Taylor, as a Kiwi, all our birds are evil. And Southern guys, welcome in, welcome in. You did miss the start. It's fine. It's fine. You didn't miss a lot. Don't worry. No, we're actually discussing Gun and Slinger, the mechanics of Gun
I
and
would
Slinger.
love to play Deadlands one day. I believe Deadlands is the same thing as what's it called, Savage Rifts, right? Savage Worlds.
Yeah, I believe so.
Deadlands is Savage Worlds.
I think
No?
so. No, it's
Right?
Weird West either way.
Hold on.
Check. In the meantime, Fairy Tale, Gun and Slinger, Gin and Slinger.
Gin
So
Slinger,
that's
I would
separate.
play
That's
the fuck
right.
out
That's
of
the other
that.
game. And let's see here. Yeah, so Billy Straits are why some episodes are just Dave doing several voices. Correct. Correct. We need to cut corners where we can. Yeah, fireworks, not jackhammers. Not this time of night. Not this time of night. During the day, it's jackhammers. During the night, it's fireworks. New York City, greatest city in the goddamn world. Deadlands is Savage Worlds, says Ferris Taylor. SWAT 96, welcome in, friend, again. Deadlands is very similar. It was an early conversion to Savage Worlds. There we go.
Yes, it
It was
was.
basically Savage Worlds, and hey, our producer is back. You play some Deadlands? Cool. Says Peter. Yeah, no, we like I'm down for some Deadlands myself.
Yes, so I am going to a bachelor party some point later on this year. And because we're all wild and crazy guys,
True.
we're going to be role playing. And I am going to volunteer to run Savage World, Savage Rifts, because all the people there are role players, and the majority, including The Bachelor, are huge Rifts fans, which means, despite all of our talk of only hand waving systems, I'm going to have to deep dive
Yeah.
into that system and come up with the game. This is like later on this year by equally 7, 8 months. And so I'm going to have to figure that out, which means eventually I do want to run a Deadlands game because it sounds dope as hell. And it's a system that Jesus and Dan have played before.
Yes.
You just need to dust off the old membranes, and insane they are, and like remember how to run the game. But I remember the system being very elegant and deadly. It might be the only system I've ever played where it feels fair and how
Mhm.
deadly and empowering it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm a bit, like, I have nothing but good memories. They are vague memories,
Hmm.
but that's what I can say for pretty much all my memories. But they are good memories of playing any version of Savage Worlds. So big fan of that. Hey, Sam says Sublimes, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the 200 bits. And joining and wrapping up the hype train, which I specifically point out because I know it just sounds like noise to my co-host here. Whenever I bring up any of the, thank you for splooging on the Blickcock. This is it's like, he doesn't know. It might be all right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It could be his Chinese communist spy coming by to just like give back to the community that has offered him his mark.
It's true. It's true. Look, I'm a big fan. By the way, P.S. Find me on Red Note, Uncivilized Dan. Big fan. Um, anyway, let's catch up here again on chat again.
This is going to be a footnote, the likes of which, like, the future dollop is going to be like, yeah, and then a lot of people signed up for an actual communist website.
Yeah, like it literally the actual terms of content, the terms of like the thing that you would basically have to go like, okay, I read and agree, specifically says that you have to like uphold socialist values within the app. It's great. Like I've never clicked on an agree so fast or so hard, as I did with the Chinese government owned app. Um, anyway, chat says, Cat Judgment has commenced and left. She'll be back. Don't you worry. And let's see here. Damn, it's paper only. I need to type it out for the Dragonlance 3.5e Bachelor Con game digitized. Yeah, type it up and send it Dave's way. I think that's going to be important inspiration for
Yeah,
for for your game.
I'm down.
And let's see, Savage Worlds is great with the exploding dice, as Ferry's Taylor. My old doctor with D4 and shooting was one of the most lethal characters in my game due to his dice exploding all the time. Yeah,
There's
that was a good
something
time.
so fucking special about having that system where
Hmm.
it's like, oh my God, that should not have worked as well as it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And final catch one chat to show. Oh yeah, to those already new. This is a charity stream, which I will once again post the links to the charities that we have handpicked to support on this stream.
Yep, this
They
is
don't know who we are. This is not an official. We have not signed any kind of agreement. These are just the charities that we think are good to please, if you can, help out the folk in California if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you so much. And I can't. I'm not going to
yeah.
speak for them and say I'm sure they're grateful, but I'm sure they are
Mhm.
grateful.
Yeah, and if you've given to a different charity, please chime in on the comments of which charity you've given to spread awareness about what charity you think is available for helping people in California through the wildfires.
And again, another quick reminder, this month, everything that comes in on Patreon for the Fandible Patreon is going to California as well.
Mhm.
So if you have not signed up on the Patreon, great time to do so.
Yep, absolutely. And if you donate any money here or anywhere else that Fandible receives money, that will all go this month to charity for California wildfire relief. Again, we are very lucky in the fact that we get to make silly voices into microphones and roll dice and freak out about make believe. But the reality is that people across the country from us could really use some help, and we would like to offer what little that we can. So the idea that make believe can result in real world help, that's something that we absolutely love. And thank you very much for doing it. And if you can't, then just by watching, we really appreciate you. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. So Dan,
Mm-hmm.
you ran. Did you run a changeling at all this year?
This year, did I? I don't think I got to.
Let me take a look.
I don't think I got to run Changeling. I think we
Damn, a
tried.
whole ass year.
I think we tried when we got together at the beginning or early last year,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think we actually got to play Changeling. But check to see on the site if we did publish any Changeling on this year. In the meantime, chat says, SWAT 96, your only issue with Deadlands was the extended length Civil War, but that would be easy enough to house rule it different.
What? I'm sorry. What did they say?
Their only issue with Deadlands was the extended length Civil War, but that would be easy enough to house rule it different. So I'm guessing that's a setting thing, and I'm not familiar enough with the Deadlands setting to know what that's about.
Was it literally the American Civil War, but like gamified? Because I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's a huge aspect of the Wild West mentality and like aspect
Mhm.
and identity. So you really couldn't do Wild West without referencing the American Civil War in some way.
Right.
But understandably, it would have some
There we go. Southern Skies
delicate
clears up. It
aspects.
went 10 years longer than in the real world in that setting.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I don't know. I'd have to read it to see how I felt about it. But also, yeah, it's a setting thing. Easy enough to house rule it different if your table is not happy with that one. Again,
10 years
I
later.
would have to read it to know like what particular thing other than it. I mean, it going longer isn't the greatest thing in the world, but I'm
Yeah.
curious to see like why did it go along? What happened here? Um, but yeah, yeah. No, no super
Oh
changeling.
boy, no, but we have Belly and the Beast, Belly of the Beast. Do you remember the Cult of the Hog?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when we were
Oh,
explicitly told that we would be playing a very serious game,
mm,
and you and I revolted in
yeah.
the only way we know how,
Hmm.
which is turning it into a dick joke.
Right, right.
And so Belly of the Beast is a game where in a on a planet where a giant monster has consumed most of the earth and entire cities have been consumed, and you now exist somewhat Pinocchio inside of the whale
Hmm.
style in the beast that is going around consuming the rest of the world, and you are just trying to survive
Yep.
in this creature, and you eat, and like you have to fight creatures that also exist in the beast, and you eat things that grow out of the beast, and it's
Mhm.
very dark and very grim. And we unanimously got pitched on this idea by Jesus, and we unanimously said get fucked. We're gonna make it funny.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most fun games.
It
It
was.
was,
I mean, Chad says Belly of the Beast was so weird and so wonderful. So this guy's serious hat. Poor Jesus says Explorer wanted.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
he
no,
had a good
yeah, he had
time.
a good time too. He knew what he was getting into. He's met us before.
Also, he really got into the Order of the Hog
Yeah.
when it came to us like meeting the like elders of the order and
No,
stuff.
that's
Like,
the thing. Like he wanted to run a serious game, and then as soon as he saw we will not comply with that particular order, he's like, "All right, fuck it, Order of the Hog, it is."
yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And so yeah, no, I think that there is an understandable resistance to play super grim dark games with us because it
Mhm.
is very much the only time we get to see each other.
Right.
And it's not like we can just kind of willy-nilly run a game in between that to be a palate cleanser. It is both it is both a time for us to record. It's a time for us to play a game, but it's also a time for us to hang out. And it's a really hard
Sell to tell me
yeah.
like, hey, the one time a week, and honestly, certain times a year, the only time this month that I might get to see my closest friends, we're gonna be playing a really serious exploration of what it is to suffer.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
take over
Yeah,
Order of the Hog.
yeah, Order of the Hug because like, you've got three people around, possibly four or five,
Mhm.
and you don't know what their week has actually contained. And
But
when
given that we are human beings that exist in this particular timeline, you can probably guess that it's wasn't great on
yeah,
average.
yeah, exactly. And so like, yes, there are gaming groups, absolutely, millions of them
Hmm, hmm.
that well, maybe not millions, thousands, dozens and of gaming groups that get together and people have had rough weeks but they don't bring it up and they play games that are very serious and that's fine but they know what they're getting into for most of the time.
Hmm.
With us, we are also doing this
Yes.
and so we want to have fun, we want to consider that, and also yeah, we don't play twice a week, we don't have those updates or those heads up
Hmm.
moments where it's like, hey, it's going to be a very serious game, because when we do get that it's going to be a very serious game, we have a lot of heads up and that's what makes it work. So for instance with Billyverse, those are serious games, they're
Yeah.
horror games, but we know ahead of time.
Yeah, Billy
If
games are never snug. It's like, oh, what are we doing today? You know what? Let's do a Billy. Like, no, that's not. Usually, it's like, oh, we've got Billy. Like, and we look. After enough months of Patreon income, we can afford Billy's rates again. We could bring him in for a game or two.
yep,
And so we know, well, it's scheduled. We know when that's happening. We
yeah.
prepare.
And also because it's a Billyverse game, there's nothing written except for in his head.
Mhm.
So if one of us is like, hey man, it's been real rough, can we not do X?
Right.
He's like, fuck yeah. And he just jukes around it immediately. If you're running Curse of Strahd, you're like, hey man, I would really like to not have victimization of like monsters be a thing. That you look at the book, you're like,
Mm.
right, okay, I don't know how to write around that. Because that's like a huge part of this game. Like if you're running Nosferatu, the new one,
Mhm.
the new movie, and it's just like, hey man, this movie's super horny. Can we not play a really horny game?
Mhm.
Then you throw out Monster Hearts, and then you have to come up with something new. Nosferatu, great movie by the way. But if I had to uh, give it a three-word review, it'd be atmospheric, wonderfully acted, horny. Uh, and so
Wonderfully acted being one word.
wonderfully, yeah, yeah, there's a hyphen.
Exactly. Wonderfully acted. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, and so, uh, and so, yeah, that's kind of the issue of playing games like Belly of the Beast, where it's like it's a very beautifully written setting. It is. It's a really
Yeah.
evocative, very wonderful, very cool, unique setting, but unfortunately runs up against the wall of Dave and Dan.
Well,
Yeah, lol. Yeah, dick jokes, lol. And not out of a disrespect for the setting, but more out of a respect for like how we are feeling that
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
mean, the setting sounds dope as fuck, honestly.
yeah,
And then we went, we was like, yeah, cool idea. We're gonna run with it, but we're gonna kind of take that ball in a more
yeah,
of a silly direction, you
yes,
know. Also,
exactly.
real quick, catch up on chat before we go on to the next game. Fairies Taylor says, "I get that." Hi, cat. Hi, okay, go on, go on. There we go. Thank you, thank you. Let me just adjust our lighting. Wonderful. I get that of wanting something more lighthearted. Watched Wicked Part One. Yes, wait, Part One. Wicked is a two-part thing.
Yep.
Why is it? Why is this? Is there gonna be a fucking Wicked extended universe?
Hmm.
Oh my god. Anyway, uh, great movie, but I would not watch it again because God's damn Elphaba is the only likable character. And Kolai says, I want to make a joke about gaming and suffering and GURPS right now, but I don't know enough about GURPS. It sounds like you do. Sounds
Neither
like you
do
know.
we.
Sounds like you know enough of what you need to know about GURPS,
Talk
given
about
that
a
you.
giant blind spot of gaming for Fandible. We
No,
have talked about playing GURPS for
yeah, we've never
years.
played. I played it. When growing up, I did. I had the books. I played it. I even ran some GURPS. This was as a child, as a tiny proto geek. I do not remember anything about GURPS other than never again. I remember stepping away and going like, ah, yes, I'm done with this game.
Yes. Thank you very much, GURPS.
Yeah, yeah. But also, I do admire GURPS. Like GURPS was like, what do you want to play? I want to play space. I want to play dinosaurs. Cool. Here's a space GURPS book. Here's a dinosaurs GURPS book. Yes, there is one.
Yep.
Whatever's like, but I like cats. Here's GURPS cats. Go. Like, yeah, there was a setting and a book for everything, and they were all theoretically same system and compatible. You gotta admire the sheer raw chutzpah of it all. Let's see. It's at uh, Esme is in fact doing her rounds. She is just resting here with us now. So this guys, it's an adaptation of the stage show, which already runs together 3 hours. I actually watched the stage show. This was like this was a long, 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 long time ago. But yeah, no, I went with my ex to the Wicked. I saw Wicked on stage. Great
Oh,
show, great
oh,
show.
stage show.
Yeah,
I
the
thought you
stage show.
state show, and I
No,
was like mandatory state
yeah, they do.
designated theater.
Yeah, they do. They force you.
Yeah,
They put you
you
down. It's a full like what's it, orange, Clockwork Orange situation.
you will watch Gilbert and Sutherland. Sutherland?
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
There you go. But no, I got to watch Wicked on stage, the original stage production, and it was great. It was great. I absolutely loved it. It was 3 hours. You know what? It's also 3 hours, like the Batman movie, and that's one. And that's just one. On that, to be fair, like that's also like this is what we're doing today. We're watching the Pattinson Batman movie, which by the way, Pattinson currently in the running for best Batman. I'm a big fan of Pattinson and the Pattinson Batman verse.
We're probably gonna watch more of it. We've been chipping away at
It
it.
really is. It really is. It's the kind of movie that you watch in chunks, for a bit, and then you kind of step away.
Yeah, bat
Yeah,
chunks.
yeah. But it's there's no reason. Okay, so we part almost 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a stage show with the 3 hours with the interval. Yeah, yeah. No, they could have just done the stage show. There's no need to split that into two movies. I am offended. I have yet to watch it. I'm gonna watch it, not tonight. I'm gonna watch it, yo ho. But I'm not. I am upset. I am upset, despite the fact that I'm not going to spend money on it. I still feel like I'm getting robbed. That's how I feel.
Uh,
Sorry, just to finish up with chats.
yeah.
I took a look at GURPS and only remember thinking, "Oh, this is too general to be good at any one thing." That sounds about right. And so this guy said, "You GURPS has its place for that reason. All the hard work interfacing multiple settings is done. The 80s to made for TV movie The Wave really needs to be mandatory watching over there." And finally, if Pattinson can deliver a couple more movies of that quality, then I'll give him the title of number one live action Batman. Yeah, like I said, he's in the running. He is in the running. He has delivered a really good performance so
So,
far.
friend of the show, Paige,
Aha.
was last night. I came home from work and she was with a friend of hers, and they were watching Twilight,
Mhm.
and they were drinking tequila cocktails and watching Twilight. Now, my partner is amazing. She is one of the sweetest, most thoughtful women in the world, intelligent, beautiful, absolute,
Can confirm.
absolute salt of the earth. But she also did go to an all-girls school for the entirety of her education till 12th grade.
Mhm.
And when I say that if she needs to or wants to, she can be mean on a level that will burn a hole in the sun. And I mean it.
Yeah, well, once
And
again, have Med can confirm.
she sat down with her friend and they were like, we're gonna watch this movie and we are going to be so fucking unkind to these people. And part of that was because they recognize Patterson and
Pattinson and fucking
Pattinson, sorry.
yeah, and God damn it, Bella Swan is a character name. How do I know the character's name
We're
more
gonna
than
say Juliet
Kristen
Lewis.
Stewart?
Like Kristen Stewart went on to make amazing films.
Yeah,
Kristen Stewart has made some fantastic films. So has Pattinson. They are amazing actors. They just needed to get away from each other. And now they're incredible. So like it's not like you're punching down. You're not making fun of flash in the pan actors that like then went off and smoked crack and crashed a car and died. They literally built their careers, and I would like to believe that their agents were good enough so that they don't technically have to act. I would like to think they're in that cabal of actors like everybody from Lord of the Rings and the Harry Potter movies where it's like, yeah, we act because we want to, because we this is our craft, but I make more money asleep than most people make in a year.
imagine either of them is worried about rent next month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So anyways, Paige and her friend sat down and I was in the other room, excuse me, and I could hear the cackling. And then as they were wrapping up, I went in and I was like, "How was the movie?" And they looked at me and they're like, "We're gonna watch all of them. We're gonna watch all of them." And that is I don't remember why I got on this topic. I think I just wanted to talk about how evil she can
The
be.
segue on the cackling, Sour Sublime brings up maturing is realizing all the witches were evil and wicked. Southern Sky's correcting, or at least all self-absorbed frat girls. Robert has voice acted for The Boy and the Heron. I haven't watched that one yet. It's an animated movie in the vein of Ghibli. So very very beautiful,
Interesting. Okay.
sad. And he did voice act in that movie. That's correct. I have not watched it yet. And Southern Skies finally catch up. So many actors just play themselves. Directors have to work around that casting to get the views.
Interesting.
All right, let's
Well,
get
the director of Twilight certainly did act around Kristen Stewart. Anyways, so hey Dan,
yeah.
how many games do you think we turned into dick jokes
I mean, at
just in
some at
2024?
some level, all of them, but
At You know what? At least two of them,
mhm.
we turned the term hog into the title.
Ah,
So we've got the Order of the Hog for Belly of the Beast.
mhm.
And then in Pub Crawl, do you remember Pub Crawl? Where we are members of the Order of the Torgid
The
Hog.
turgid hog. Yes, 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 yes. So turgid
We
hog.
cannot be
We
trusted.
should not be trusted.
And also, one of those is supposed to be a serious game. The second one, Pub Crawl, is emphatically
Correct.
not a
Yeah,
serious
yeah,
game. So, like, yeah, that one's a whole fuck off dick joke. In fact, I think they wrote dick jokes literally
yeah.
into the
That
game.
was like a one pager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did very well. And we still were like, yes, latched on, like, yes, dick joke. And honestly, canonically, I think they're part of the same world. I think it's a precursor.
I do think they're
Yeah.
related. Yeah, we'll check with Jesus. He very wisely chose not to attend tonight's taping.
Yeah. So we've got and then we did more technocracy. I want to thank you so much for letting me just go with the technocracy thing because at the beginning of the year we all sat down and we're like we need to focus on certain games so that we know what like system and also setting that we can make cohesive so when we sit down we're like hey Dave's going to run this, Jesus is going to run this, Dan is going to run this,
Right.
except for like the one page RPGs or off like one offs, we know immediately going into that world what that world is about. And so character creation is easier, understanding the world is easier, the transition is just seamless. And so thank you very much for dealing with my technocracy
For
shit.
me, that was basically Gun and Slinger this past year.
Yep.
For you, it was Technocracy. And for Jesus, I believe he wanted to be it to be Belly of the Beast, but I'm not sure.
Nope.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, no, it wound up being Hunter because of exasperation, I
Yeah,
think. He's like, fine, it's the fucking it's supernatural.
right.
That just there. Except for supernatural superpowers. And then we also played The Pope is Dead. Great one-page
Yeah,
RPG.
it's good times.
Fantastic. Never Stop Blowing Up, which I had
Really?
issues
Is that,
with.
that recent? Like, was that long ago?
Uh,
It
that
feels
was
like we
that
just
was
played it.
December. That was
Yeah,
December.
we just played it the other
Yeah,
day.
but
Yeah,
like we actually have not published this year a lot of different
yeah.
well,
That
Wrath
was
and Glory is in there too.
Wrath and Glory. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing is, yeah, we do have like a lot of they're split up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a different one every
I
week.
ran a D&D game that we didn't get to go back to because
Yeah.
Billy's availability was very limited. Hell or High Water, where you played demons.
Oh
Do you
yeah.
remember demons? And you were looking for the guy who had bound you to him, and
Yep. Yep. Yep.
if you get to outside of a certain like radius, then you go back to hell. I thought that was I was really excited about that
Yep.
idea.
Yep. Still excited about it.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
we're ever able to get
absolutely.
back
I'd
to it.
love to get back to it because the idea of playing demons or devils that do not have the exacting power that they
Mm.
are owed is really tantalizing to me in a D&D setting or just any setting whatsoever.
Oh, the chat keeps popping off, so let me keep catching up here. Sarah Sublime's mentioned Pattinson was actually the heron in the English dub of that movie. We'll keep them in. Let's see here. So those guys, all of them for the dick jokes, I'm assuming. Ferris Taylor, apparently with Twilight, they originally were going to write it tongue in cheek for the movie, but Stephanie Meyer, the author, insisted to be serious. Well, the book's writing isn't good. That is correct. That is correct. Pub crawl was built on dick jokes. All the pub names,
Yeah,
the setting as
yeah,
established, like
yeah.
rules as written, just dick jokes. Dan Evie says thank you for the wet food. Okay, Sour Sublimes, personal friend of mine. I know who they are, and Evie is their cat. I recommended the wet food, and apparently their cat loves it. You're welcome, Evie. You're welcome. I know you're watching. If somebody hasn't given the cat a free sub yet, please do. And then Southern Skies AU, great concept and time pressure game for the. I'm assuming that was Pope is Dead.
Yeah, no, I mean, all of them are. If you want a good time, look for a one-page RPG with
Yeah.
your friends. If your friends are open to it, if they are as close to a party game as you can get without playing Fiasco. And Fiasco still absolute number one party game because people get down with it.
Mhm.
It is super fun without being a board game. But yeah, the Pope is Dead. Other one-page RPGs are
They
super
were
super
talking
fun.
about the D&D Devil Possession game,
Oh,
which that was your idea, so you can even get happier about that. That's you. That's
hey,
you.
hey, thank you very much. Great concept and time pressure game. Thank you very much. That was kind of the fucking idea. Um, excuse me. Which was like, why don't they just leave? And so whenever I run a game, it is always I write down why don't they just leave?
Right.
It is so hard to come up with that. Like, why is it important they do the game? And often you can be sometimes less and less, I believe, you can expect players to be like, I'm going to come up with a reason that my character is really um invested in this. In my experience, not enough.
Mhm.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Fandible. They are family to me, but uh, they will, I think, like bend over backwards to be part of the game, but still in the back of my head, um, I remember I was running a game years ago, and somebody in the group um, was everybody had to go to jail
Mhm.
in the game. And one of the players looked over at me and was like, "Hey, because of my background and the stuff I rolled, like I would never do this." And I had spent so long making this game and coming up with the plot and everything. It had never occurred to me that people wouldn't go along with it. So I just looked at them and I said, "Dude, I think you just wrote yourself out of the game." And they just like looked at me and I was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm not going to bend over backwards, like figuring out why, why you have to be part of it, like why your
Right.
character has to be part of this. But it never, that moment never left me. And of course they got on board. They realized like, it's important to be honest with your players, be
Right.
like, I have put too much work into this. If you cannot figure out your one job, like, which is play the game, then all right. But it is, it has never left me, that moment where I was like, I have not offered enough carrot or stick to have the player characters be part of this, whether or not. And that is why I named the game Hell or High Water,
Mhm.
because it was forcing the player characters. It was as close to railroading as I wanted to get. So thank you very much for the compliment, but that is very much by design of remembering that moment and being like, you you can love your players as much as you want, but you have to give them no choice.
Yeah.
At some point, and I've said this so many times over the last like 11 years of Fandible, choice is the enemy. Like there has to
That's
be,
the kind of thing we do, yeah.
yeah.
Because there's a big difference between like, oh hey, like we're gonna here's a campaign. Like we're gonna play these characters for a long time. So let's actually focus more on the characters
Hmm.
and we'll build a world and a
Yeah.
story around them. But especially when you're doing either just a one shot or a specific arc, or like, all right, we're all gonna be in jail. So
Yeah.
that's a step. So now you get to build characters that fit into this situation that I'm giving you. If
Yeah.
you don't make a character that fits into that situation, you don't want to play my game. And that might be
Yeah.
fine. Maybe you don't want to play my game.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Exactly. You could just say so.
Yeah,
You don't
but
have to roll up stats.
exactly. But if I'm telling you like no, again, the difference between like character driven and kind of story driven. And for the one shots, generally you're gonna have hi. You're gonna have more of a story driven thing. And yeah, that's kind of what happened there.
Yeah, and so so yeah, that was a moment of I don't like to do that sort of
Mhm.
thing, but it was definitely it was kind of fun though,
Yeah.
like offering that, like seeing the looks on characters or the players' faces, being like, oh yeah, if X, Y, and Z happens, you go to hell, and they're like, oh, that's serious. That's not. I don't think I have a heal spell for
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Um, Sorry. Oh, sorry.
No, Sensor Life says, basically showing, hey guys, the cat. Sadly, says Fairies Taylor, sadly, every game of Fiasco I've done has me go, I do X, and instantly X is undone next turn. Okay, I mean, that's less of a problem with
Interesting.
Fiasco, more of a problem with the players that you're playing with don't get the
Yeah,
basic
because it's supposed to
rules.
be yes and
Yeah, it's pretty
it's
much yeah, it's supposed to be exactly it's yes and it's basically improv. If they can't follow the yes and are doing like no and or no but, they're not playing the game right. So
yeah,
I
it's
mean
yeah.
so that might be a problem, right? But because we do have the advantage that we're basically I mean, Jesus is the only official improv nerd, but we're all like honorary improv
Hmm.
nerds in
Yeah.
this group.
Well, he's an improv nerd. We're just cool. That's the thing.
True, true. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Only one of us has gotten up on that stage, and he's not here. So,
Yep,
yeah.
exactly. Because he has to. The two of us, we don't need to.
Exactly.
We don't need to. We improv all the time. I
So,
mean, some people say line to cops or
right.
whatever, but like, it's just a simple yes and officer. I wasn't there. What are you talking about? Do you have a warrant? And then scene. So, yeah. So we're going to take a quick break. I need to get some more water, and
So,
we need to get an angry cat off of the desk. And in the meantime, if you could do me a favor, and if you could uh, note or list in the chat, if you could just shout out with what games you would like us to turn into dick jokes. Dan and I, when we get back, will do our absolute best to come up with them when we return. So thank you very much. Give us 5 minutes.
All right, and before we leave, once again, quick reminder: we are doing this for charity, not just for our own ego gratification. It's it's a little bit 50-50 of both. So here are once again those links for charity. Go ahead while we're away, throw money at these people. It'll be good for the soul. We'll be right back.
Dick jokes for good.
And we're back.
We are, much to your chagrin and the chagrin of the United States government.
They cannot find us. They cannot stop us.
Sorry, getting a call right now.
It's the Chinese government. They can't find us. They can't.
Yeah. Aw, thank you, y'all.
They're great.
Aw.
We love them. Hey, Chad did pop off with the dick joke.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. With the requests for dickifying various games.
All right, y'all, lay it on me.
Right.
I mean,
hey,
you know what I mean.
We're off to the races. So first of all, this is more of a before we even get onto the topic. Cole AI did bring up that the worst D&D date they ever had. He jumped in as an evil character who ripped apart books. Couldn't go along with the story, and that date fell apart. He learned from that.
Wait, a date?
The D&D date.
You will have to explain what a D&D date is, because it is somewhat antithetical to my experience growing up of romantic anything.
It's a different world.
It is a whole new world.
Exactly.
All right.
So first suggestion from good friend of the show, Explorers Wanted. I'd say The Darkest Wood, or that one writes itself.
Sorry, that is Jesus getting to us.
Yeah, solid chance, non-zero chance of Jesus on the stream after all. After we've been talking shit about him for a couple hours,
and will be continuously. Yes,
we're just gonna.
Yeah.
I think he's just gonna have to share your mic. Well, I can move the camera.
He's going to be here for not for a while, so
yeah.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, The Darkest Wood, which by the way, because I don't think you know that one, you remember us playing The Darkest House?
Yes.
So The Darkest Wood is basically Monty Cook yet again trying to take our money.
Okay.
The same general concept. Yeah.
All right. Darkest Wood.
Yeah. Again, that one writes itself.
Yeah. Type that into Pornhub.
Well, not in Texas, at least not anymore. Not Florida. Is it?
No, it's Texas.
Texas too.
Texas wants to do the whole. I don't think it got passed, but for those of you not in the United States, Texas wants to. Yeah, God bless.
God bless.
Texas, the state here in the United States, wants to pass a law that makes it so that anyone trying to access adult sites needs to upload their government ID to prove that they are in fact over 18 in order to access the site. I did not know that Pornhub needed to know my height and eye color and hair color and exact address.
Yeah, Pornhub doesn't, and in fact, it doesn't want them.
Yeah,
it's the government making them. They're like, no, rather than do that, we'll just not provide service to your state.
Yeah, that's really weird that the government, and we're moving into a staunchly Republican government entity, would want so much government overreach into understanding basically where I live and who I am, just to use a website, which is weird. It seems like a free speech issue.
It really is.
Or anyway, like a freedom issue. That's
just again, quick reminder, Uncivilized Dan on Red Note.
Anyways, yeah, so Darkwood. Yeah.
Darkest Wood, yes. Call AI, my partner asks that the 7 C's be turned into a dick joke.
The 7 D's nuts.
Hey.
No,
that's not C, man.
Oh, it is right there, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. The sea was frothy that day, my friends.
It was I like my ocean like I like my women full of semen. There we go. All right.
I like my women like I like my I like my women like I like my shore at low tide. Dry.
For an easy
if my partner is watching this right now, she rolled her eyes so hard that EMTs need to be called.
Yeah, but having met your partner, there's not a chance in hell. They're far too wise for this. Fairy Taylor for an easy one. Legend of the Five Rings. For harder, rotted capes.
Legend of the Five
Uh,
Cock
I mean,
Rings.
yeah, that's a
It's
given.
right
That's a
there.
given. It's in there.
Also, ow, the mental image alone is that like the oh, now I'm thinking of like the Mandarin.
The old Iron Man.
Whoa.
God.
Oh my God. Jeez. Whoa. Oh my God. Do I need to call HR? What is happening?
Um, and for harder, rotted caves. I mean,
Ooh, that's a good shout.
yeah,
That's a good shout. Harder capes.
rotted caves.
Rotted.
I mean, as soon as you put rotted in front of anything, it stops being sexy. I mean, for a
Yeah.
certain percentage.
Um,
I'm not here to kink shame the rot fuckers, but I'm not one of you.
I am. What is that an option?
I
I know
mean,
they were rot fuckers.
I'm just gonna assume there are. I'm going to assume there
Sounds,
are.
that sounds like a slur in a fantasy game if ever I have fucking heard one.
I mean, it's a slur in this one
Oh,
too.
one
So,
million percent. That's what paladins call necromancers.
fuckers, holy
Rot
shit.
fuckers.
Anyway, we're not here to shame you, but I'm not. I'm not joining. I'm not one of you.
Necromancers across the world. Oh, rotted capes. All right, we're gonna have to come back to that one. That is a good shout. That is a really tough one.
Let's see, Cosmic Patrol dick jokes. I mean, Cox Dick Patrol. No,
The
that's not. There's something there, but
Cosdick Patrol.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um,
Hmm.
hmm,
Hmm.
Cosmic Petroleum Jelly.
Hey.
A.
All right. Next one. How can you make dick jokes in paranoia? That information is above your clearance, citizen. I like that. That one just stands on its own.
Yep.
We don't even have to
Uh,
justify that one. All right. Explorers Wanted with a suggestion for Monster Care Squad.
oh, Monster Aftercare Squad.
Hey, boom, done. Not even, I don't even need to throw. That's
Fucking
perfect. Perfect. Moving on.
done.
Let's see. For dick jokes, obviously Gumshoe.
If I need to say cum shoe, come on now.
Hey.
It's right there.
Uh,
Also, I might play that game. Like Monster Hearts is a little too like you don't know what you're getting into.
for Gumshoe, you
Cum
know.
shoe, I'm like, if that's at a fucking con, like, do you want to play a game called Cum Shoe? And be like, sign me up. I had to go to a stupid ass LARP, but let's do this.
Wait, are we going to the next the double
I
exposure
am
one?
desperately
I
trying to
want to. I
find
want to
us.
go. It's just, the problem is again the
I am
where to
I'm
stay. It's
I am
expensive.
trying to find us a very reasonable rate
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah,
So yeah.
so we're hoping those of you who are anywhere near the area and are aware of the double exposure cons, we tend to go those almost every year, and we're trying to see if we can get to this next one. No
Rotted
promises.
taints.
Oh, here we go. There we go. See, you just had to. You needed to give it a minute. You
Mm-hmm.
give it a minute.
Yep, exactly.
Explorers Wanted with Heart.
Gross. Gross.
Mm,
There's nothing sexual about heart or emotions. That's not
that's
where
true.
it belongs. Um, but I will say, dick. You just replace it with dick. Um,
But really not. I think it just like not even dick. Like I think it's just cock. Like cock
yeah,
has
it's just
even a little
cock.
bit of
Yeah,
feel to
cock.
it, if you
Yeah.
will. You know.
But like hearts like beat, so maybe throb.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yep. Yep. Or we, my God, why did this?
The tower must
What?
wilt. No, that's heart. That's spire. Spire. The tower must fall. Heart. Heart. What's the tagline for heart? I don't think it's a. It's
Uh,
definitely not something about falling.
Let me look it up. Oh,
In the meantime, next one here. I said
before I forget though, I don't know why my brain went here,
very good.
but a Mork and Mindy sex game called Throbbing Williams. Listen, I'm not proud of it.
But
I'm
you
not.
should be just a little bit. Just a
I
little
think
bit.
he would find that fucking hilarious.
That's why. That's why. Chad has in fact delivered to Dick's fiance. Kalai says, to explain what a D and date is, D and D date rather. I'm going to keep saying D and date. Is when you go on a date with a romantic person and play D and D. Sometimes it goes great, sometimes less so. See, again, it's a different world. It's a different world. People date and play D and D.
Cool. My only experience with, by the way, it's Heart, the City Beneath.
Hmm.
Um,
The sheets, yeah, and I mean
you
it's
know, the City Beneath the Sheets. I
hey,
love that. Or Heart, the bottom.
hey,
This is this is too far up our alley.
hey.
Uh, but yeah, no, in my experience, the only time that people met through role playing was LARP, which was
Hmm.
basically a giant theater group from high school, but with adults with disposable income.
Yeah,
Everybody, fucking everybody.
that's true.
Uh,
That's
uh,
true.
Also, if you are from the LARP scene that I am from, you helped raise me. Thank you very much. You honestly kept me from being a complete dickhead, even though I started and was kind of a complete dickhead for a part of it. But like seriously, some of the best people I knew were from the LARP scene. And I didn't even know their real fucking names. I just knew their character names. But at a game, they would be so fucking solid to me. And I was a teenager and I was a complete shitbag. And yeah, so thank you very much. So if you're wondering, yes, good people can come from role playing and there can be very productive molding aspects to the community. As for a D&D and dating, get fucked. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Don't believe it.
I don't
Don't
know why I
believe it.
turned into Christopher Walken there. It's like, no, I don't believe it.
All
No,
right. Continue here.
I'm kidding. By the
First,
way, thank you very much for sharing that. That sounds amazing, and I'm horribly jealous of you.
I mean, to be fair, they did just explain that did not go well. That's the one who was playing the book tearing villain. It's like, oh, maybe I don't want to date somebody who's whole like, oh, that's your power fantasy, just be destroying books, huh?
Mhm.
Cool.
Well,
Cool.
second level of that character is book burning, and you don't want to see what the third level
Mm.
is.
Uh, so next game in to be in the Undickening, Mutants and Masterminds.
Oh, ooh,
Mm.
we got this. We got
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Mutants and masterminds. Um,
Hmm.
um, we got this. We can come up with. We'll
I
go
feel
back to
like
this.
there's just mommies and
Ooh,
right.
mommies and master twinks.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
I
Mommies and
don't
master.
mind that. I don't.
Right. No, that's
Mommies and master twinks sounds like a good hack.
yeah. No,
Can
we
we
should
do
write.
that?
Yeah, we should write that one. We should write that one. Right. Note it down for the notepad for
All right,
later.
I just gotta run to get a tissue real fast for my nose.
Sure. Sure.
Mommies and master twinks. I love it.
Meanwhile, let's see here. Small government, naturally. And so this guy's moved. All right, good. We will. Please drive safe, Southern Skies. We do not want to be responsible for any kind of just mishaps on the road. As far as look, we are from New York City. We don't drive. It's we just assume that the roads are and just chaos and terror at all times. So,
Just ride a dingo for God's sakes. How hard can that
like a
be?
civilized person.
Or a fucking emu.
Let's see. Kolai says once went to a meadery that had meadery being a place where the meads. Mead.
Oh, not a meatery.
No. That's where you
Okay,
meet
cool.
people.
By the way, Southern Skies AU. I'm just kidding. Please be safe.
Yeah. Once we went to a meadery that had several dungeon masters and tables, and people just sat at the tables, played one shots. It was like D&D speed dating session, and I want to do it again as a DM. So
Uh,
okay, wait. So you just sat there. You're a DM, right? And you're at this meetery, and you've got in front of you. You've set your little DM screen, and you're like, "Hi." You've got a little shingle saying like, "I am a DM, and I'm running D&D." Presumably some version, was it a DOS Finds a Find Delve or whatever. And so people would just go and like, and just kind of sit at your table, play a little D&D with you, and then go like, "I'm never gonna call you again," and then walk away.
dude, that's how you
Right?
got to know me
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's how I met Jesus.
No, that's
Is
exactly
yeah.
that's pretty
So
much what we did, but
yeah.
it was a World of Darkness.
Um.
Well, no, for me meeting Jesus was World of
Yeah.
Darkness.
No. But me meeting Jesus was
Yes.
basically a meet and greet where people would put their name on a placard on tables and they would pitch the game to you. And so they'd be like, like I run a superhero sci-fi game where there's an asteroid coming towards Earth. And like a lot of them were like tabletop like miniatures and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that. I went to one D&D. This was the last table where I was like, I think I'm done. Um, and I was there with my partner at the time, and she had a totally different experience and unbelievably creepy. And I went to a table and they're like, "Yeah, we run a D&D game." And I was like, "Okay, cool. What's it like?" And they're like, "Oh, it's New York City, but all of the racial types from D&D are the racial equivalents of neighborhoods in New York City." Hmm. Yeah, and I was like, I see where you're going with
You're
this.
trying to go with
I
this.
see where you're going with this. And I'm just saying, like, if it was a show or something, this would be problematic, but I would hope that like they could change it around. But like
Netflix
they
tried that. That
they
Will
yeah,
Smith movie.
it was actually not bad. It
Yeah,
was good.
yeah.
But at the same time, they didn't specifically say, the Bronx is orcs, which is what this group, and they were super
Yeah,
proud of
yeah.
themselves,
Mm.
super proud of themselves for coming up with this. And I was like, that's, you know what? Cool. Y'all seem to enjoy it. I will not contact you. And that was where I was just like, I can't with the I can't with the fucking nerds. I can't like nobody here is it's either all miniature games or it's problematic fuck off like D&D campaigns. It's all D&D campaigns. And then I ran into the gaming group that Jesus was also trying to get into, and that's how I met Jesus, and that's why I'm here to uh talk to
Dickify.
yeah, games for you lovely people. Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's see. Fairy Sailor, Rotfuckers, either a slur or a metal band.
Why not both?
Exactly. Uh, Explorers Wander, the Mandarin, just bristling with cockerings. Uh, oh, hey, this is Fairy Sailor's got a good one for art. Ass, the city beneath, or rather, the city behind. There we
Hey.
go. Uh, oh, hey, and Explorers Wander, Dick, the throbbing beneath. There we go.
I mean, Shart is right there, but unfortunately it's a fart joke and not a dick joke.
Yeah.
So
And Finally, just to fully catch up on chat, D&D dates from Steven or 2. It reveals their true selves faster than moving in together.
oh boy, does it
You
ever
know,
though. I
it's
could
right. It's
imagine.
right.
Yeah.
Like you should, as general dating advice, play an RPG with your potential partner once if you can, and just see what you learn.
So Paige has a book group that she is part of, and sometimes she hosts at the apartment, and they are lovely, lovely people. And it's entirely women, and it's awesome. I call them the ladies in waiting because they said one time when I was just like talking to them while they were wrapping up their game, or sorry, their book talk, um they wanted me to run a D&D game for them, all of them.
Hmm.
There are 9 people.
Yeah, no, that's more people than.
That wasn't all the people at the book group, that was just the ones that showed up then. But also, as a long-term role player, I am tantalized by the challenge, by both running a game for all those people, but also being able to show them, hey, this can actually be really cool, like inviting them into that world. But I called them the ladies in waiting because when I was talking to Paige later on, I was like, I just came up ladies in waiting, WAITING, as in they're waiting to spring a trap, because that's in my mind what I would run for them.
Mhm.
It would be a bunch of women who are like brigands and thieves that are in like forests, like merry men style, trying to steal from the rich and give to the poor. That was the first thing that I came up with. And they haven't followed up. Well, they kind of have, but that is the closest that I've come to wanting to run a game that is to mix like socially, to like to get to know people. So I get where D&D can be a social
Yeah.
icebreaker. I don't anticipate any of these women turning out to be people who want to destroy books. That
Not,
would
not
wait,
Brooke
that
Cole.
would actually be amazing, and I might make one of their characters a book destroyer. But yeah, so I get it. I get it as a social lubricant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, but still, it's still weird. It's
I will say, well, when I heard you just describe, a potential group of 9 players, and you said like, oh, you want to, as a semi-professional role player, you see like, the challenge, you see you have fascination with it's like this goal, and all I heard was, young Daedalus going like, as an experienced waxed wing crafter, I have this fascination with the sun. Um, it's just really what I
yeah.
heard.
Yeah,
So.
no, I mean, like, I'm sure it's falling. I'm sure it is absolutely rife with pitfalls, and the the absolute heights that I'm aiming for, I will fall far short of. But in my absence, wow, I sound like such a dickhead. But in my absence, how will they truly grasp the power of their imagination? I mean, they're only ladies, Dan.
Well, stream's over. Let's see here. Fairy Sailor adds, it's a good social thing, but hard to get a random person to agree to. Fair. You go up to just a rando in the street and go like, I'd like you to pretend to be an elf for
I don't know. I mean, yes, it depends on your location.
me. Mhm.
I think there is, I have gotten multiple people I had no idea. Excuse
Oh
me.
yeah, no, there's more nerds out there than you think there are.
You've met my friend Adam.
Yeah, yeah.
Adam wants me to run a D&D game. Excuse me, heavens.
Mm.
Run a D&D game at his coffee shop after he's closed. And I was like, "Cool, man, but I work nights. Y'all,
Yep.
find a millionaire to support the podcast so I don't have to work
Please,
nights anymore,
for the love of
and
God.
we will increase our output 10 times."
For real, for real. I
Um,
mean, that's the thing. Like, you
yeah.
work nights, and then the 2 nights that you have left are basically Saturday and Sunday. One of them, which we have already, willingly and generously donated to this bullshit, and that leaves you with one remaining night to spend with your
I
partner, right?
genuinely dead ass thought that you were gonna say we have willingly and generously given to your partner. And
Also,
I
that.
was like, dog, she might be watching.
Like exactly, it is. You only have so much time to spend.
Yeah.
It's like we said, even when we're hanging out here, like this is our recording, but also we are friends. We want to just hang out and
Yeah.
play video games and do dick jokes not on the air,
We have a million video games
and
back.
million dick jokes
And
too.
also, we've talked about different ways that we can offer more stuff to people like patrons and stuff like that. And even that is like limited by, time considerations.
Yeah,
I'm advocating personally because I know that Dan does have a capture card for his television
I do.
that we record us playing old school video games together and then to put it up on Patreon. I think that'll be fine. We won't get copyright struck or something.
Maybe I don't know.
What if we old? What if
If,
we
hey,
use like?
if it's only for Patreon, we can get away with a lot more shit than.
What if it's just the ET Atari game? Because they are never gonna cop to that.
Yeah,
They are
that's
never gonna sue us
abandonment
for that.
forever. Yeah.
That would put it in front and center that they created.
But I think just doing gameplay is fine.
Yeah.
Also, I own legitimate copies of every game in that emulation all 18,000 of them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I own I own all of those. It's fine.
Yep. So keep the dick jokes coming. So I'm gonna look back on the list of actually we're actually done with the
Yeah, there
list
wasn't
of
that many different
no, there
games.
weren't. We played a bunch of games consecutively
Yeah.
and then repeated them. And yeah, basically it was a handful of games. I'm actually kind of
Yeah.
surprised.
I mean, now that I think about it, because like from every recording session, we got an average of like 3 episodes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think we honestly, when I look back at like, times that we just got together and we just said like we're not recording today, we just want to hang out, and just times that somebody, you, myself, Jesus, or all three of us had something that weekend and wasn't going to happen.
Mhm.
If we played and recorded half of the year, like not 52 weeks or like 6
Mm.
weeks. That's I think that's generous.
Yeah.
I don't think I think if we reach like 26 recording dates, so with that in mind, yeah, it kind of makes sense that there's like yeah less variety than we thought there was.
Yeah. I mean, the one shots and the new games that we were interested in definitely rounded it out.
Mhm.
But moving into the new year,
Yes.
what kind of stuff would you like to do?
I mean, I think they just gave us a list of just all the games to dickify over 2025.
Rotted Taints.
Hey,
Let's do it. Ugh.
we still gotta like fix that system. It's, you know, like no, no, it's meant to fuck you. That's what it
Rotted Taints does stink.
is. Mm. Anyway, chat has thankfully gone completely silent. I think because of the topic at hand, and I cannot let them.
What if we just what if we just accidentally like got
Yeah,
cut?
we stopped streaming like half an hour ago. It's just been us just like talking to an empty camera. No, no, we're still live. We're still live. We're still live somehow.
So what would you in chat like to see us run that we will or may not
Yeah, may
dickify?
not take it far. I
Yeah,
mean, again,
exactly.
it's better than average
Mhm.
odds that we will. We got we are who we
Yeah,
are.
I definitely want to finally get the crew together entirely in an actual physical space and run worldwide wrestling.
Yes.
I know that it would take a significant amount of education, and I don't mean to sound like a dickhead with this, but like professional wrestling is a huge blind spot for a lot of people when it comes to pop culture, for a very good reason. The same way I somewhat appropriately that tabletop role playing is a huge blind spot
Mhm.
for a lot of people when it comes to like pastimes. And so that would be part of the effort. But man, and Dan can tell you, if you ask me to talk about professional wrestling,
You will.
I will fucking do it ad nauseum. I just have to contain my thoughts and organize them, much like talking about role playing games and or horror movies. And I would like to play that or run that. And I would love to play more talking about horror games. I'd love to play more stuff like Final Girl.
Yeah.
I do miss that. And
Final Girl
yeah,
is also another one that feels like it's all hands on deck,
yeah, I'm
basically.
naming games that like we all have to be
Yeah,
physically present
that's the
for. Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to like two-player games though,
Very
um,
few of those.
yeah, uh,
And
few.
yeah.
Maybe if one of us was working on one right now,
Mm,
stay tuned.
don't
No,
even
I am.
don't even
I am working on one right now. I'm working on one right now with the same it is the same quality of the other games that I have created, which is
so we've all been warned.
yes,
That's,
exactly.
that is a warning, not a threat. A warning, a threat, and a promise.
A thrumpus.
Yeah, there you go.
How about yourself? What would you like to?
Mm. I mean, I know what I'm looking at over there. I'm running Run Triangle Agency for you folks.
So
Uh,
what the fuck is that game again?
it's basically SCP. It's you work at the sort of the SCP agency as helping catch and restrain anomalies.
Mhm.
It is a sharp corporate satire. It is a really good time. It's got a pretty unique system without being crazy. But the main thing that's going to take some adjustment is that this is a game. You know how I tend to like games in which you as a character, your character has a better than average chance of being able to do the thing that they are good at,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
That's the kind of game I like to play. This game flips that on its head a little. Doesn't mean your characters are not going to be able to do cool shit,
Hmm.
but it assumes that if this is something that your character would have to roll for, you would fail at it. You don't do the things yourself. Sir, you work for the Triangle Agency. You ask the agency for help for whatever you need to do because otherwise it's just yeah you do the thing. I'm not going to make you roll for it. That's a perfectly normal thing to do. If it's something that you would not be able to do, you sir are a mere mortal. Why would you think you would be able to solve this situation? You are an agent of the agency. You ask the agency for help, or you use your anomalous powers, one of the two.
Huh.
So it's a different approach. It's like, for example, you're walking around and you go, well, I can't hear, I'm trying to overhear like a conversation across the street. Can I like maybe like roll perception or something? No, no, you can't roll perception. You could ask the agency to help you with that, though. And so you kind of have to come up with okay, well,
Interesting.
I would like help. So how could the agency help me with this? And you basically come up with a little causality like chain. It's like, what if the agency could, we could send somebody to set a fire in the kitchen in the cafe, they're saying, then they would have to run out. And when they're running out, then I can catch snippets of their conversation. Sure, that works. Go ahead and roll that.
That's very cool. I
Right.
like that.
It's a
I like
different
that.
approach. It's a different approach, but it looks, or the other one is like you do have a certain level of anomalous powers yourself, and those you can try and use, and they have different abilities. But otherwise, anything else, it's like either you could do it as a normal person, or you're using a superpower, or you're asking the agency for help.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
it's an interesting approach, and then the way the system is, you're going to succeed almost every time. Just the way the rolls are, what's going to vary is the level of chaos that's going to get generated, and chaos is stuff that then the GM can use to activate like the anomalous events that happen around. Makes the game more complicated.
Hmm.
It's a good time. It's a good time for everything I've seen. I've been reading the books. I have stopped reading the books because I have been invited to
Sorry,
play.
sorry.
I've been invited to play a game of Triangle Agency soon. I can't reveal anything more because I have not been given permission to reveal anything more, but keep an eye out for that. Because the game itself, the game book itself is set up like, okay, stop reading here. You're no longer authorized. Go play your first mission. Come back after the first mission. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, book. I'm gonna go do exactly that. Because I have said before, I want to let the game give me the experience it wants to give me. And the game specifically says, like, unless you're going to be running this game, you're going to be the one running this game, stop reading here. Come back after you played your first mission. I
That
want to
sounds
see
fucking
what
sick,
yeah, I want
dude.
to see what that means. So I
Yo,
hopefully I will be playing soon, and then after that I'll be coming back and seeing the rest.
I absolutely love that. That sounds dope as hell.
And so I bought it's over there. I'm not going to bring a camera because it's very heavy. But it's a full normal briefcase edition. You basically have a perfectly normal briefcase in which you will store the anomalies that you find. And that set brings a full like adventure sort of book arc,
Hmm.
and I plan to take advantage of a lot of those. So
Cool.
we'll see how that goes. So
Dude.
that's the game that I'm planning to like kind of make my ongoing thing for 2025.
Oh, dude, I love it. Um, I want to run also there is a Labyrinth RPG that I've owned for years. Labyrinth, as in David Bowie and
Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly, and that yes, Toby the kid, um, and Ambrosius the dog, and I do not remember what the night dog is called.
Oh, sir.
Rides Ambrosius,
Yeah,
sir. Help us out,
yeah,
chat.
chat. Let us know
Yep.
what it was. I
And
can't remember.
was his name Hoggle?
Hoggle,
Hoggle?
Hoggle.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, the actual uh stars of that movie, the Worms. Would you like to come and tea for the miss with the misses? Like,
So sweet.
I just want an entire movie about those two. Just like how nonplussed he was like, oh yeah, there's a goddamn human who needs to get through the lab, and like, oh, I mean, I guess I can help you. Yeah, sure. If lovely weather today, isn't it? I want an entire game where you play NPCs in popular properties.
I like it.
I would love that. But anyways, I'm gonna run.
Sir Didymus. Apparently says chat.
All right, Sir Didymus. Thank you very much,
Oh,
nerds.
so let's see what we've got on chat. So we did have one suggestion from a source wonder for games they want us to play this year, starting with Mork Borg.
We all right, I don't have it here, but I have it in my bag in the other room. I have something called Sickest Witch, which I guess is a Morkborg mod. And I'm looking forward to it because it was very much pitched to me by a local game purveyor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all right, chat, here we go. Tell us what games you want us to run. Tell us what games you want us to play. Tell us what games you think would be interesting, but we'd probably hate. Tell us what games you think we'd love, but have aspects that you think we would loathe. Just lay it on us right now.
I mean,
Do
look,
you make a game? Do you make a game? Have you made a game? Have you thought of mating a game? Have you thought of mating with a game?
too
Because
many people have,
we
yes.
have dick jokes for you.
Hey,
Send us what your game is. Like, pitch us on your game. Tell us about it. We will consider it. We have talked about our
yeah,
limitations with responsibilities and scheduling, but what game would you like us to play? And do you have a game that you would like us to check out? And at the very least, we will absolutely check it out. But we are looking for ideas. We are devoid of ideas. We are completely bereft of creativity.
true. Never created a thing in my life.
Yeah, no.
Let's see. To play Necronautilus, which I have, I'm looking at it right over there.
Necrodiculous?
Yeah, Necrodiculous. So Necronautilus is. I want to run it for you guys at some time, but it is. It's one of those that I can't. You can't just spring on someone. You can't just spring it on someone. Necronautilus is it literally describes itself as an acid trip of a game, and it's one of those like you have to have a certain level of buy-in. It really falls into that like unless you both like sat down, you know what this game is about, and everybody's on board for it. You can't just say like let's just pick up game of Necronautilus. And I say that unfortunately because I own the Necronautilus shirt. I kicked the starter on that one
Wait,
at
that's where the
expense.
shirt came from? I thought it was a
Yeah,
band.
right. Because it's dope
This
as
entire
fuck. It's
time I
that's the
thought it
thing.
was
Like
a
the
band.
vibes on that game are fucking immaculate. Immaculate. It is an acid trip metal themed game, but it really does feel, having read through it, like again, we would have to like buy in for it. Like this is what we're doing. All right, guys, you have like 2 weeks. Just get familiar with it, get into the theme, and then we kind of go into it. Like I wouldn't be able to just spring that on folks. That said, I would love to. Again, I kicked that starter for a reason. Like I
I
would love to.
kicked that
Yeah,
starter.
I have custom dice for it. I'm looking at it right away. I have a box with fancy dice specifically for that game. Yes, very much want to run it. Don't know if or when, but yes, it's on my to want list anyway. Let's see. Can't confirm you are not currently streaming, just as you said you feared. Okay, good. Thank you for letting us know that we have been offline for the past half hour. Stoneburner was wild. Okay, yeah, we enjoyed Stoneburner. That's the dwarves in
The
space.
dwarves, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually really enjoyed that one. And would excuse me, would play that again.
Oh yeah, yeah. Street Fighter, and not from Stevedore, by the way. So those guys I use Street Fighter, the Insulting Joke Edition.
One day,
We're
here's
gonna.
the thing. Steve Dorr is local-ish, right? Like we do know him.
Yeah, we
We've
met
met
him
him.
at the Dex Cons. Yeah.
Steve Dorr, one day, I'm gonna read that book. I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna write down characters. I'm gonna make lore. I'm gonna write out stories. I'm gonna watch the goddamn movie. I'm gonna play the games. I'm gonna know everything there is to know about Street Fighter. And then when we see each other at a con, I'm gonna tell you, Steve Dorr, I'm running the game. And I'm specifically holding a place for you. And when you show up to that table, the rest of Fandible will be there, smiling, jovial, beaming, characters in hand. Some of us cosplaying, mostly Jesus because he's in great shape. You're going to sit down, excited, the electricity running through you. This is the moment. You're finally going to get to play Street Fighter, the role playing game. And it's going to be paranoia. Get fucked.
Yep. That checks out. That checks out.
No, that's not true. I own Street Fighter. Do you know how fucking hard it was to track down that book?
It's true. I've seen it.
That fucking book. No, I'm definitely gonna run that game. And like dead ass, I love the idea. It is also from such a weird point in the 90s where every fucking like video game and movie was just selling off its rights for a song and a dance to tabletop RPGs.
White Wolf picked up a couple of those.
Yeah. Holy shit, did they ever? I'm totally gonna run that game. That game is insane. That game is talk about dick jokes.
It's true.
The entire fucking book can be dick jokes.
Thing of beauty. Thing of
Oh,
beauty.
love it. Dick Fighter. You coming to you.
So let's see here. Explorers Wanted says Fandible playing Die would be cool. Die is I've got the fancy version of that one too. Die RPG. That's the one that's very meta. That's basically like you kind of you get pulled in to ask your like you basically make normal people, and then those normal people get pulled into fantasy world.
Oh, so kind of like the way that we're supposed to play End of the World.
Yes, a little bit like that. But unlike in the other world where it's like, hey, get together with your friends, hopefully your friends, and make lists of what's terrible about one another. Or who knows, maybe strangers. Are you playing with strangers? Good. Make lists of what's terrible and sucks about one another. It's gonna be fun. No, fuck
Yeah, I
that
forgot that
part.
part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that part about end of the world. They were like, no, we're going to make our own versions of us. That suck because that's what yes, but I'm not going to. No, thank you. I'd rather not have my friends tell me what's wrong with me. In order, and that's like, there's literally a mechanic in the game creation where like you're supposed to like go like, okay, so well, since you're supposed to be making yourself, and go like, well, if I give myself the, high endurance thing, and the rest of the party, the rest of the people at the table go like, no, I know you, and you again, to crib a joke from Red Note, why do you eat like you have free healthcare? You know, it's no, that part of the game is bad, and they should feel bad for doing that. But no, die is more like no, you're not creating yourselves. You're creating a set of humans and that have problems and relations.
Yeah.
It's a good game. I would love to run it for Fandible, but it very much is once again a I would want the full crew and I would want them all physically for here. It's
Yeah.
that kind of game. That's not
Yeah.
it's not a one shot kind of thing. It's in order to really get through it. Yeah, I would want it to be like I'm going to spend time on this. So as
Yeah,
much as I would love to see it happen, I cannot promise would be able to pull that off anytime soon. Sadly.
I I guess I would like to run original riffs. That's not true.
Yeah,
That's not true.
with me.
Original riffs is crazy,
Yeah.
but I so there is a game out there called Nightbane,
Mhm.
which is
Yes.
done by the people who made riffs and Palladium Games, and it is effectively what if the Cenobites from Hellraiser were the good guys. And I have loved it since I played it when I was like 14. And it is unfortunately in one of the worst systems I've ever played, and I've played a lot. And uh, here's how bad it is. I've never complained about it.
Mm.
Why would I? Because like when I complain about a system, I'm complaining about something I think that other people haven't noticed. Anyone who's played riffs, they know what I'm gonna say. They know. And like I like the system for what it is, but again, I really want to run.
Well,
Oh,
I think that's
that's
Jesus.
Jesus.
Folks, we're gonna be right back because I think we might get Jesus on camera when we come back. So
Yep.
bear with us, bear with us. We'll be right back. And we're back, and look what we found.
Fuck. Hey, I'm here.
He was just wandering around.
I don't.
It's like a Pokemon.
I honestly went back and forth 15 times trying to find this place. I was drinking, but anyway, it doesn't matter right now.
Random encounter.
Random.
That's. Can I get? I need to talk to my landlord, see if I can get that to be the sound for my alarm. Yes, that. I mean, it's still like anytime that bell rings, that's my reaction. Wait,
Okay.
but yes, look, we found Jesus.
Hey.
He's here with us. But okay, let's catch up on chat real quick because chat was giving us a lot of games they want us to run
Okay.
this year. And again, Fanduel playing die would be cool. Agreed. I just don't know if it's going to happen anytime soon because that really is an in-person game.
Gotcha.
Focus. SWAT 96, Shadowrun, either storyline. Same situation. Same situation.
Yeah,
Shadowrun.
It feels like it's an in-person game for us.
What storyline? What are you talking about?
Dave has never had a storyline, never will have a storyline. Does not believe in them.
Especially with us as players.
Yes. Let's see here. Dave needs to run Rotted Taints, or it's more boring spin-off.
Running capes.
You did miss us going on dick jokes for about an hour and a half, honestly.
Okay.
So
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You're out of your mind if you think I'm going to run Rotted Capes in front of Billy. I'll fucking do it. I will run Rotted Taints. I will watch his hope drain from his eyes. But okay, you know what? Challenge accepted. I'll take a look.
Roll your sex move.
Oh God.
let's see. Kobolds ate my
I think we
baby.
ran that once, didn't we?
I feel like
In
we
the
might-
distant past.
I feel like we might have. At least we
Maybe.
thought about it.
All right.
Let's see. So this guys, I'm collating a beta print, but Sony has it. Okay, I'm not sure what we're here. At some point, we lost track. We
Yeah.
lost control of chat. Phoenix Sanders, I do make a game though. I do like your Shadowrun game and End of the World when Angela is available, but being a parent is hard. World of Darkness, you all seem to fall
True.
into as well. Yeah, again, for us, World of Darkness is comfort food.
Mhm.
It's easy for us. We know that. We grew up with it.
Yep.
Let's see. But also, yes. Oh yeah, no. Phoenix is in fact making a game. Can't confirm. Have seen is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Die is great. And Fairy Tale legit. Dan runs a really good game of Die. Thank you,
Oh,
Fairy
yeah.
Tale. I do in fact run a very good game of Die, and I do want to run it for the crew. It really does feel for this crew.
Mhm.
It's gonna be it's just for the level of like buying. And honestly, that is a game that literally like it even says so. Like it fetishizes the physicality of
Mhm.
it. Like you're supposed to like hold on to your die. Like there's a physical component to it, and not to be said. Like again, the game of Die I ran was an online game. Everybody was fully online. It was an amazing experience. But I know my friends, and I know that that is a game that
Sure.
is best played physically, and so that's how I feel about that one. But yes, thank you so much for the compliments. And Steve well, you said you'd watch the movie like some sort of arduous task. Talking to you, Dave, about Street Fighter, and it's not a sublime cinematic masterpiece. Let's see. SWAT 96 says Deniable Assets, the cyberpunk villain RPG, could be interesting. Bought it, haven't played it yet, but you play the middle manager setting up Shadowrun teams while trying to screw over your competitors and other management to get that promotion.
I'm gonna be 100% honest.
Ironic ways is expected.
I mean, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I was thinking about running for a while. I've talked to you about this running Shadowrun game, but on the side of the corporate side.
Yep.
This might be a good option.
Yeah, I like that.
So we'll look that one up.
Yeah.
Deniable Assets, the cyberpunk villain RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Then Phoenix and Steve are both mentioning it. Rift
We've
is in fact
played.
a game.
Yeah.
It's a game.
We
Rift-
played
we played Savage Rifts. We have not played on.
Oh, you mean like on like the
Actual
old school
Rifts.
Rift? Ooh, I don't know.
proper Rifts.
Ooh.
Again, Rifts, a system that codifies how there is no parity between characters. Great setting, no parity, and the combat system, arguably the core of games of that era, was clunky as hell.
Mhm.
Nathan has survived. Subscribe with your Prime. Thank you for
thank
giving
you.
us Bezos book. We will take John Bezos. Is it just no? It's Jim Bezos. I don't know
Jim-
what his name is. Fuck Bezos. But
Jimmy D.
his money.
Whatever his
We'll
money.
take his
Yeah.
money. Amazon owns Twitch. Therefore, and Prime.
Zach Bezos.
Zach Bezos.
John Bezos.
Mhm.
Rod Bezos.
Rod Bezos,
Yep.
yeah. But thank you for giving us Bezos bucks. We will definitely take that and spend it on more dick jokes.
What's that?
That's
What's that?
fine.
That's fine.
Don't
That's
worry.
fine.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Fairy Sailor was drinking, says the man with the drink in his hand.
This is apple juice.
It's burnt
Apple
it's
juice.
Apple juice.
Yep.
It's very, very sweet, very nice apple juice.
Oh man, that apple juice burns on the way down.
Phoenix says
He's allergic.
I did a Shadowrun one shot of extreme couponers using coupons to get things for free or cheap, and
Oh
then
my
making
god.
escaping notice.
That is
genius.
holy shit. That's a
God,
fantastic
I like that.
idea.
that's so good. I love it. What
Uh,
do you call it? Honey heist?
I'm gonna push this away.
So Jesus, well, actually, I answered. I want the game I'm going to run for you guys is Triangle Agency. It's just
Okay.
on camera. I'm not going to repeat it because the viewer said it, and I'll tell it to you later.
Mhm.
Dave, what was the game that you wanted to do, or did you answer the question yet?
I said worldwide wrestling.
Right, Worldwide
Yeah.
Wrestling. So Jesus, is there a game like in 2025? Is there a game, and not as a one shot, but as a
Oh, that's
I would
different.
like to run like at least an arc or small campaign.
That is
Inspired,
that is
like,
very
Triangle
different.
Agency-
Okay.
Triangle Agency, I want it to be like the
Hmm.
game that I run for you guys at least semi regularly.
Ooh, that is a very like if it was a one shot, I had there's a bunch of things I would try.
Not as one shots.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
a campaign,
Right.
Jesus.
Or at least an arc. Like, okay, we'd be playing this for a few weeks, kind of.
I'll be
vibe.
honest. I've been going through a bunch of different games. Nothing comes to mind immediately. But
Chat also tells us if there's anything you want Jesus
yeah,
to
yeah.
run.
I would honestly after I would love to run not as long as Numenera, but a longer arc that we usually do for a while.
Yeah.
Like so kind of a hunter game is sort of like that, but that's in and out.
Right.
I
It's
want
episodic.
yeah, it's episodic, not like the long term. I would
Yeah.
fuck. I need time to think about this, but
I know.
Would it be
put you on the
Warhammer?
spot,
I mean that would be the easiest thing to do for
right?
me.
I mean, I think you were planning. Isn't there's like a reason which
No. Imperium Maledictum.
right?
Which I'm planning to actually I'm thinking of doing a stream for that with somebody else.
What
but
is that?
it's Warhammer 40k, but it's like Warhammer 40k, but much more investigative, like Dark Heresy.
Okay.
Yeah, yes. So like you basically work for a patron who was like a higher power, like it could be a rogue trader or inquisitor or something like that, and you're doing missions for this group.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of running a game for somebody else's stream at some point in the future. Actually, I might as well say this. At some point, I plan, hopefully, if I have the time, to do it for Pi Battle Group. Did I get Prax?
Praxagora Thesmophore.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
The channel.
yeah. I was part of some of her games. I did the Mass Effect. I did the Vampire, which was very fun. I do want to eventually do Imperium Maledictum when I have the time, but I I don't think doing a long term game with this group would work. It's just I don't know. It's not. I wouldn't want to do it for this group. Not because I don't. I don't know how to explain it.
Not because I don't like them, but because I really don't
I
like
fucking
them.
despise these motherfuckers. But no, I feel like there's something else. I wonder. I can't remember thinking of something.
Give it a little noodle. Yeah, we're still here for these 3 more hours. It's fine.
I mean, fair,
also-
fair. Actually, give me suggestions, guys, because I can't think of anything. Knowing me, what could I run as an arc?
Right. No,
That isn't Warhammer 40k.
Chat, let us know. But also,
And not Street Fighter, Stevedore.
no, Street Fighter's already been decided.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna happen. You missed a moment on Street. Yeah, we'll see. Somebody clip that.
Mhm.
Also, first time chat from new subscriber, new Prime
Nice.
subscriber, Bathan. Just finished checking my library. Hey, Dave, this question is for you. Is your Street Fighter book the 20th anniversary edition?
They did what?
I believe that should answer your question.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right.
So you should try playing Ninja Crusade. Never heard of that one.
Crusade.
Never heard of that.
Hey Dan, can you show us the whole screen of what people are watching or seeing?
Why would I want
Just
that?
do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Why are we the bars on my phone?
There we go. Beautiful.
I'm the shortest person here.
Yeah, but I'm the slouchiest person
Yep.
at the moment. So
So all I'm saying is too high, too low, just right. Hey.
Hey guys, we're a chocolate sandwich.
all right. Since
Dan trying to reel it in.
reel it in.
All I'm saying is blend until you hit the middle. Anyway.
Are you calling us the bread? Because you're right.
You know what? This isn't my channel. It's fine. Let's see. Fairy Sales, this is my fellow Kiwi is in here. Kia campaign. I'm not sure how
I
well
mean-
the game lends itself to campaign play.
Oh my
I mean, it'd be funny as hell, but
Yeah.
No, here's how you do Kia campaign. You do Kia campaign in different settings. So Kia in Warhammer 40 Kia. Warhammer 40 Kia.
Warhammer 40 Kia.
Yeah, it stands for Kia. It's
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, the Kias are Agents of Chaos.
yeah,
100%. Oh my god,
absolutely.
each Kia would serve a different god of chaos.
Agents of Kia.
Agents of Kia.
yeah, there we go. Use of Kias.
And then you've got Vampire the Kianin, maybe. You've got Hunter the Rekianin.
There we go. There we go.
Everybody's a Kia. And then you've got 3 Kias in a trench coat.
Werewolf
If you'll sign off on that.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty tight on those licenses.
Okay. Werewolf the Kiapocalypse.
Oh, there you go.
And of course, the Kias in the game are just as overpowered.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%.
100%.
1,000,000%. Excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, yeah.
Also, Jesus, Stevedore's event, he did not bring it up.
Okay.
It's true. It's true.
Okay.
The mentions of Street Fighter during the stream have all been from people other than Stevedore. It's very true.
He spread.
The reverse Oreo says fair. And at least the reception is decent with the 3 bars that we've
I
got.
mean,
going
yeah,
on.
100%.
At least.
Yeah.
But no, our fans have not given us, our viewers have not given us any suggestions for what they want you to
What would
play,
I?
which I think is a message.
I mean, okay. So what would I want to play as a long-term campaign? We did
Game
Numenera.
run or play.
I would run it.
Right.
100% run it. But we did Numenera, which I loved. 100%. I do want to run a longer campaign again. But what's up is it depends on the crew, but like what they're willing to play. But I do want something a bit more fantastical.
Yeah.
If we're gonna run a game, I want something. No, I would want to run a space opera. I would finally not just Warhammer 40K. Warhammer 40K is it's not even space opera. It's its own thing.
Right.
I would want to run a traditional like space opera campaign, maybe some sort of weird pseudo-scientific magic, some sort, but science fiction campaign.
All right. So
But-
what good systems for that?
Make, if I may,
Okay.
make the characters survivable.
So
Because-
Mothership is what we're trying to say.
So not Mothership.
Not Mothership, not Splurge or Splooge or whatever the fuck that game is, where you can play a gelatinous person or a teddy bear.
Oh, that was the one shot we did, the funny one shot. Bulldogs.
Yeah, Bulldogs.
Yes.
All of these games, all of these space games, you're told your character's gonna die.
If we ran a game, I wouldn't run a game like that. I will say that much. Those were for laughs,
Yeah,
for
of
lulls.
course.
No, the game out
Mothership is not for long.
No,
Okay, we've got
for
a
me
couple
it was fucking
suggestions.
hilarious.
We've got a couple suggestions in the chat.
Oh.
Nathan says Traveler would be one.
Traveler's a possibility. I've skimmed it.
Stars Without Numbers is another.
Okay.
And I think we have Stars Without Numbers in our PDF.
Okay. Yeah, we do. I've skimmed it.
Yeah. Fairy's Taylor mentions they did a Treasure Planet inspired one shot using Hollow Earth Expedition.
Interesting.
Ooh, I
Interesting.
like
That's a
that.
decent system for that type of adventure.
I really
Okay,
like that.
all right.
Yeah.
Steve Adore mentions, isn't there a Star Trek RPG? And there is.
I have run it, but the rules are like meh.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
licensed games can be
it would be much more either our own universe or like something else adjacent to it. But I don't want Star Trek.
Yeah.
I'll be
If
honest.
we do Star Trek, we would turn it into Lower Decks.
Oh, one immediately.
Hey, I finally started watching Lower Decks
Yeah?
recently. Holy shit, that's so funny. It's so good.
I
Look,
told you
I'm
about the
also,
show.
and I'm so sad that it's not over.
Yeah.
It's like I discovered. I mean, yes, you told me, and then I was like, yeah, sure, I will, and then I never got.
Yeah.
around to it. But, payback for all the adults that I have told you, like you should watch this.
Yeah.
2 years later, did you ever watch it? Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
So turnaround is fair play, but also as soon as I finally got around to watching, it's like and it's done.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, I guess. Let's see here. There are several Star Trek RPGs, says Bathan. Can't confirm. Stars Without Number is fun. Want to run a game of that, says Phoenix. And Stevedore Fantasy Flight Star Wars RPG with the serial numbers filed off. If you don't want the actual Star Wars setting.
I think they have the Genesis system, which is based off that.
Genesis,
Yeah. So maybe. Well, since we have it, I'll just skim over Stars Without Number. That might be a possibility.
We definitely have it. We definitely have it. That's we're caught up in chat so far. But there you go. You asked for suggestions. You got
Okay,
it.
Stars Without Number. Yeah.
So I think it's about time to wrap it up, y'all.
Yes, it is. We've been going for 2.5 hours, which is
God, guys, it's been a long 2.5 hours with all of us together.
Yeah, exactly. And like some of us just don't have the stamina for it anymore. So we're gonna start wrapping up, folks. Thanks as always so much for hanging out. One last reminder: today's stream has in fact been a charity stream for California. So once again, on chat, there are the links to our suggested charities, World Central Kitchen and the Pasadena Humane Society, who are actually helping people right there on the streets who are suffering and need help. So thanks so much. If you can help, please do. And
in this month's Patreon.
All right, the final reminder again that in this month's Patreon, everything we make on Patreon will be also donated to charity. Specifically for the California wildfires. So again, if you haven't signed up for our Patreon, patreon.com/Fandible, no better time to sign up than yesterday. But since yesterday already passed, today will do.
Yes.
Please go ahead. Other than that, folks, any last words?
As someone who's been here the entire time, I just want to appreciate all of you for your suggestions, your ideas, the various talking points that just for some odd reason I can't remember off the top of my head. Glad you were here.
Let's say
Also, I want to say
Mage the Adickening. Yeah, we're gonna go with what's vampire's phrase?
Vampire is sucking and sucking.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not saying much. It's vampire.
Oh,
There's gonna be sucking happening.
the Dick Macabre.
There
Thank you.
There we go. There we go.
And finally, Hollow Earth, because that dick.
Holla at that.
Look at that dick.
There we
Earth.
go. There we go. There we go.
Well done.
There we go.
Anyways, thank you very much for contributing to this stream.
Yes.
That is a charity.
Yep.
Thanks so much, folks. And again, yeah, you know, Bathan, we got Vampire. The official name, Vampire the Requiem, is the most recent one.
No, Requiem is no wait.
Requiem,
Yeah, Requiem is for New World of Darkness. The current Masquerade is for.
Yeah, but the dicked up versions of both.
Okay, yeah.
Vampire the Dickening, no, Vampire the Dickerade, and then Vampire the
people in dick mass.
Yeah.
In a masquerade.
Or the Rectorum.
I feel so bad, Bathan. Like I don't know if they joined. They did give us that Prime membership. I don't know if they did that after the Dickening, after all the dick jokes.
I mean,
but I don't know if they were expecting this. Might have been an honest, like, no, it's actually Vampire the Requiem, and we're like, dick joke.
I mean, if they signed up, they know what they got signed up for.
Well, if they did it before, they do.
They do now. Too late. We have it now. They can't. They cancel that.
Oh,
No,
Mummy World of Darkness. Oh, we can. Oh, you know, save that for next quarter when we do our next stream. This is the summer edition. For the summer edition of this stream, we'll talk about the Mummy World of Darkness game. I could go on. About
Please do, because I know they're immortal, and that's about it.
Oh, I know so much.
Are they immortal? Like full on, like can't die immortal?
Truly some dark knowledge. That I have.
Okay.
Call me mummy. All right.
And just a heads up, says Fairy Sailor, just a heads up that due to the language, the charities in question are now suing Fandible.com. The reputation. Good thing we've got that LLC going protect. Oh, well, end of stream.
This has been a fun time.
Yeah, see you guys later.
Nathan, yes, after, but not unaccustomed to dick jokes and bad puns. Well, good, because that's what we do here. That's what we do. Thank you so
100%.
much for giving us Bezos' dollars so we can continue making the dick
Jeff
jokes.
Bezos.
Jeff
Bezos.
That's the name.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. That'll get us more money, right?
Yeah.
I can only hope, folks. Once again, thanks so much. And wherever you may be, whatever time zone you may be in, we hope it's a good one. Take care and have an excellent.
See you. This is apple juice.
It is. Bye.